Experience tranquility. Pass into the iris.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Season 10 Tranquility Gaming Bracketology Megacast, a collaboration between the Iris Podcast and Predicting Tranquility. Of course, my name is Bowsy. I am the host of the Iris Podcast, and directly to my left, your right, is Nerf, the host of Predicting Tranquility. In addition, below both of us is two analysts that we pick from our respective shows. Representing the Iris Podcast is Fish, and representing Predicting Tranquility is Choi Soo-won. How are you three doing on this fine Monday evening?
Chilling, absolutely chilling.
Feeling good.
Doing very well.
All right, good.
I'm ready to be not right.
I'm confident. It's my first time. I got to go in ready.
Yeah, half of the podcast here has their first time here on Bracketology, so it's going to be a heck of a fun time. For those new here to Bracketology, welcome. The purpose of today is to prove how terrible we are in predicting matches. No, that's what predicting is for. The main reason for this is we are going to be predicting every single playoff match in every single tier. We're going to be constructing our own brackets and predicting who the champions are going to be in the Harmony, Discord, and Transcendence tiers. This is all for fun and games. This is not a script contest. We're not here to write the script, but who knows? Maybe one of us could be more correct than others. We have had interesting results get into the best of the best. But with that being said, we have a lot to cover and we have a lot to jump into, and we are going to start with the Harmony tier. Before we get into it, however, I want to give a big shout out to somebody who helped us out with this. Many people know our assistant Twitch manager, Aura, who is responsible for a lot of the Google Sheets presentations that has been made over the course of the season. I want to give a big shout out to them as they constructed these beautiful Bracketology brackets this season. Shout out again to Aura. They did a really great job with these brackets, helping us bring Bracketology to the masses here, especially with me having limited time. I was unable to construct them, so thank you, Aura, for constructing the brackets this season. That being said, Nerfed, it's time for you to start the Harmony tier upper brackets, starting off with your match Onigiri versus Disclosen. Head down the list, give me your upper bracket.
All right, first match, Onigiri versus Disclosen. I think Onigiri have proven themselves as top dogs. 3-0 for Onigiri on this one. Then the next match, Clairvoyance versus Strix. This is one that I kept going back and forth on. I didn't really have a decisive opinion on it until literally 10 minutes before cast. I ended up going with Clairvoyance here 3-1. I think that the Doodles win is real. I think that it is officially not a fake win. Then going on to Koala Kings versus Geometric. I think Koala Kings, it's time for them to get their revenge, and Geometric slumping a little bit, so I gave that one to Koala Kings 3-1. And then the next match, Pause Champ versus Flashbacks. Flashbacks looking for vengeance in this match. However, I don't think they'll be able to find it. Another 3-1 in favor of Pause Champ.
All right, heading on to the Week 12 matches, starting off with Onigiri versus Clairvoyance.
So for Onigiri versus Clairvoyance, this is the match I wanted to see all of Stage 1 to see who was going to be the champion of the A-Pool. We didn't get to see it. However, the results of Stage 2 still kind of proved to me that Onigiri is by far and away the best team coming out of that pool. Give it to Onigiri here 3-1. Then the next match, Koala Kings versus Pause Champ. I've been on the KK Copium all season, but even after the Geometric loss, I thought that, I don't like to go into the Copium and say oh, but they were missing X player. Let them have an excuse, especially now that they have Seraph. So I gave this one 3-1 in favor of the Koala Kings.
All right, there you go. There's your upper bracket for Nerfed already and filled out. We've already gotten one step of the process done here, but now it's time to go over to the next one. Fish, it's time to head over to you. Give me your Harmony tier upper bracket.
All right. I'll start out. I think Onigiri 3-0 disclosed in it. I really like Onigiri. I think they're a really good team, and they've really just shown me that they're in that upper echelon. I was similar with Nerfed. I went back and forth, Clairvoyance with Strix, but I really just think Strix, the win over Geo is impressive to me, even though Geo has kind of been inconsistent. But that winning 3 straight maps at the end was important to me, so I went 3-1 for Strix. 3-0 for KK. I think they're just a better team. And I went 3-2 for for Pause Champs.
Okay. Well, heading over now to your Week 12 seeding matches for the championship bracket, starting off with Onigiri versus Strix.
Gonna go 3-0 Onigiri. They played each other, and it was a 4-0, so makes sense. And I'll go 3-1 Koala Kings over Pause Champ.
All right, there you go. Fish's upper bracket is now complete. Let's move over now to Choi Soo-won making his Bracketology debut. Choi, what do you got for us in the Harmony tier upper bracket?
All right, so I have Onigiri 3-0ing, 3-0ing Disclosing. Shouldn't really be close. Then I have Clairvoyance 3-2 over Strix because Strix will always suck in playoffs. It's just happened every season. Then we have Bang 3-0 KK because Bard Farah will not be enough to stop Koala Kings. Then we have Pause Champ versus Flashbacks 3-2 for Pause Champ. I do think Flashbacks will have a little more kick than the first time that they played. Yeah, and then for the next game, Onigiri versus Clairvoyance 3-0 Onigiri. And then Koala Kings versus Pause Champ, I have a close 3-2. Not much to be said there. I just think Koala Kings are OP.
So that's Koala Kings 3-2 over Pause Champ?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, making sure because the winner was not specified, but thank you, Choi Soo-won. Pretty good brackets there, but now it's time to head over to the most important one. It's the correct one. It's mine. My bracket. Let me just pull it up here because I had to get all this set up. I don't know, like 5 minutes before stream. But my bracket is pretty simple. I'm going with the crowd here and saying 3-0 for Onigiri. For Clairvoyance versus Strix, I'm going to say it's going to be a map 5 banger with Strix coming out on top. I think Strix are coming off of some pretty good momentum winning over Geometric. It was not a great stage 2, but it could have been a lot worse, so I'm putting them in that advantage point. Koala Kings versus Geometric. I think Geometric take one map, but Koala Kings come out on top. And then Pause Champ versus Flashbacks. I am a Pause Champ supporter. I'm going to go 3-2 for Pause Champ. I think Flashbacks, however, wait until later. I think this is not going to be the end of Flashbacks here. Moving up to the Week 12 seeding matches for Championship Bracket. Basically, the winner of these matches gets the number 1 and 2 seeds, and the losers get 3 and 4 seeds for the Championship Bracket. For the first match, Onigiri versus Strix, I have Onigiri winning in a sweep. And then Pause Champ versus the Koala Kings, I have Pause Champ coming out with the upset win, getting a map 5 victory over Koala Kings to get that second seed. So there's a lot on the line in that match. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how well all of these teams can manage in that matchup. But now let's go over to the lower bracket. There's quite a bit of matches here in the lower bracket. And Nerf, we're going to head over to you, starting off with Doodles versus Exhilaration.
All right. I hate to say it, the playoffs Doodles, they're coming alive. 3-0 here against Exhilaration. And then Aimbots versus Basement Dwellers. This was another one that I was just back and forth on. I don't think it'll really matter based off of who they're running into next round, but I gave it to Aimbots here in 5. Do you want me to go down or just finish out that little bracket?
You can do whichever one you want. I don't care.
All right, let's get this one out of the way then. Because Doodle Supremacy, they're coming alive 3-0, and then 3-2 against Disclosed for the finals of that little bracket.
All right. Now, I was gonna say now over to Jersey Boys versus Mets.
Yep. So for Jersey Boys Mets, I think Mets will take a map. But I think that one should be pretty simple. 3-1 for Jersey Boys. Insidious versus Ragnarok Freya, another pretty simple one. I gave it to Insidious here 3-0. Then this is where I think things start to get interesting. Insidious versus Jersey Boys is a really, really good match. I think that these are two teams that are very close. So I gave it to Insidious here 3-2. And then I'm with Troy. I've never really liked any Strix playoffs teams. So I gave Insidious the win here 3-1. Although Strix, got a lot of talent, I would love to be proven wrong.
All right, next up, Pew Pew Plunderers versus the Luminous Foxes.
Yeah, 3-0 Pew Pew Plunderers. Luminous sucks. And then 3-0, another swift one for the Fire Breathing Rubber Duckies. Then FBRD are such a good team. I have them winning 3-0 over the Plunderers. And then I wasn't able to vouch enough for Wooly on Bronze Banter, but I'm here to rep Geometric, winning 3-1. I think by this point in the season, they will have had their momentum. They'll get out of their slump. So Geometric 3-1 here. Then Mafia versus Chrysalis. I gave it to Mafia 3-1, although I don't feel confident about that result. Could go either way. Penguins versus Swordfish. I think that'll be a quick 3-0 for the Galactic Penguins. Actually, no, I don't. I think it'll go 3-1 because Penguins can't 4-0 to save their lives. Then Penguins again against Mafia. I had it 3-0, and I think I'll keep it that. I think I'll keep Penguins 3-0. And then in the finals there against Flashbacks, I think Flashbacks are a really, really solid team, and I think Penguins won't have caught up with the amount of improvement that Flashbacks have done by this point in the season. 3-1 for Flashbacks there.
All right, there you go. And with that, Nerf's championship bracket is set with Doodles, Insidious, Geometric, and Flashbacks moving on to the championship bracket. Thank you very much, Nerfed. Fish, we're going to be moving over to you now and your lower bracket. So give me your lower bracket, starting off with Doodles versus Exhilaration.
Yeah. Playoff Doodles. 3-1 Doodles. I don't think they can 3-0 people. And then I'm going to go 3-2 Aimbots for my boy John L. They did play earlier in Stage 1, and it was a 3-2 for Basement Dwellers, but I believe. I'll also do the same thing where I'll just move over. I think it's 3-1 Doodles, and then another 3-1 Doodles. Then we move down to Jersey Boys, which I'll say 3-1 Jersey Boys over Mets Gaming. Just a little unfortunate draw there, I think. And I'll say a 3-0 for Insidious. And for Jersey Boys Insidious, I really rate Jersey Boys. They had a really good Stage 1, and they just got put in a tough group, and they've had a really good Stage 2 as well. Or a really, underseeded group. And so I really rate them. So I'm going to go 3-1 Jersey Boys. And then that meets them, with Clairvoyance, right?
Yes, so meeting
And
with
I
Clairvoyance.
think that's 3-1 Clairvoyance.
All right, next match is Pew Pew Plunderers versus Luminous Foxes.
Right, the the nobleness nerfed, but I'm going to go 3-0 Luminous Foxes. And then a 3-0 for FBRD. And in a very unfortunate draw, I think, for these two teams to meet here. I think they're both two teams that you would want to see make a run in lower bracket. Unfortunately, they just have to play each other. So I think I'm going to go with a 3-2 for FBRD in a map 5 banger. And then here's where I think probably the first major upset of the tournament. I'm going to FBRD a 3-2 again over Geometric. Just don't think they have it in them. I've heard rumblings the mental might not be there, and I just think they're in a really bad run of form. So, and I just think FBRD has been killing it. So moving down for Chrysalis, I'll say 3-1 over Chicago Mafia, and a 3-0 for Galactic Penguins. And I will actually change that to a 3-1 over Chrysalis for Galactic Penguins. And then meeting with Flashbacks versus Galactic Penguins, and I agree with what Nerf said, where I think Flashbacks have improved a lot, and I just think that I think they're going to do really well this tournament. So I'm going to say 3-1 for Flashbacks.
All right, there you go. There's the lower bracket for Fish, meaning Flashbacks, FBRD, Clairvoyance, and Doodles make their way to the championship bracket. All right, choice of one. Let's head over to you now, starting off with your lower bracket and Doodles versus Exhilaration.
Okay, bang, I have Doodles 3-0. And then next game, I just went 3-2 Basement Dwellers over Aimbots. Again, they played each other. It was that score, so YOLO. Then we have Doodles over Basement Dwellers 3-0, again Doodles. And then I have Doodles 3-2 over Disclosing.
All right, now over to Jersey Boys versus Mets.
Yeah, quick 3-0 for Jersey Boys against Mets. And then Insidious, I have 3-1 over Ragfreya. And then another 3-1 for Jersey Boys over Insidious. And then I have Jersey Boys upsetting Strix 3-2 because Strix just will never make a playoff run.
And Choice Yuan making the first move for Jersey Boys to make the championship bracket. All right, Pew Pew Plunderers versus the Foxes.
Yeah, I have 3-2 Luminous. I think it'll be a decent game. I kind of rate these teams pretty similarly. Yeah, it's kind of. And then FBRD 3-0 Fighting Potatoes. And then I have FBRD beating Luminous 3-1. And then I have Geo beating FBRD 3-2. But again, I don't think Geo have looked that great at all. So, um, then we have Chicago Mafia over Chrysalis 3-2. And then GP over Swordfish 3-1.
All right.
And then we got GP over Chicago Mafia 3-1. And then Flashbacks over GP 3-1.
All right, there you go, and that means Flashbacks, Geometric, Jersey Boys, and Doodles moving on to the championship bracket in Choi's bracket. Thank you very much, Choi Suwon. Very good start so far to the podcast. Nothing seems to be going wrong. Nothing seems to be out of the ordinary so far. Every bracket seems to be, pretty good. Anyway, let's move over to mine. Not saying that that'll be the case for mine, but you know what? We'll see what happens. Let me go to my bracket and see that I am agreeing with the crowd here, unfortunately, and I'm saying Doodles 3-0. Basement Dwellers versus Aimbots. I'm going 3-2 win for Aimbots there. Doodles versus Aimbots. This is where I dissent. I'm going to say Aimbots win 3-2. Take that map 5 victory and move on to face off against Disclosant, where they will get swept. I'm going to regret that move later, I bet. Doodles are going to win the championship this year because I said
Yep.
It's over.
It's over. It's over already. Pack your things, go home. Doodles win the
Ozzy's
championship.
bracket's already busted.
I'm
Actually,
already burning in hell for that. Let's move over to the next match. Jersey Boys versus Mets. I believe Mets have a very good chance of getting at least one map in this series because they have come off of a pretty big elimination stage, but I think Jersey Boys still winning it. Insidious, I think, are going to sweep Ragnarok Freya, and then we come to Insidious versus Jersey Boys. And I'm actually going to make a switch here. I'm going to say Jersey Boys 3-2, based on different from what my graphic says. And then, you know what? Let's go a little bit silly here. I might as well join the train. 3-2 for Jersey Boys. They go over to the championship bracket. Again, different from what my original bracket stated, but you know what? I'm willing to bet all the money on the table. I don't care. I quit predicting Tranquility this season for a reason. Let's go over to the next match, which is Pew Pew Plunderers versus Luminous Foxes. I think it's going to be a pretty close match. I'm going to be putting this as a close map 5 for Luminous Foxes. Fighting Potatoes versus the Fire Breathing Rubber Duckies. Who the hell put 99 here? I got to talk to NPC. He's hacking my PC. But I think that's going to be an easy 3-0 for Fire Breathing Rubber Duckies. Everyone in chat saying Jersey Boys are holding me hostage. No, they aren't. I just am on the Mystery Eddie Copium. Or the Hopium, whatever you want to call it. But FBRD versus Luminous Foxes, I'm going to say FBRD win 3-1. And then I'm going to say it's going to be a map 5 decider between FBRD and Geometric, but Geometric will come out on top just barely to lock themselves into that championship bracket. Chicago Mafia versus Chrysalis, I have a 3-1 win for Chicago Mafia, and Galactic Penguins versus Swordfish. I say it's going to go to map 5 for Galactic Penguins because I believe that's the exact same score that these two teams had in stage number 1, which makes me a little bit nervous. Same thing here, map 5 for for Galactic Penguins to take over Chicago Mafia, and then the Flashbacks are sending the Galactic Penguins home in a 4-map series. Flashbacks win 3-1, which means the Flashbacks, Geometric, Jersey Boys, and Disclosant are moving on to the championship bracket in my perspective. All right, Nerfed, we're going to head over to you now because we have the most interesting segment of them all. It's the championship bracket. This year, the championship bracket is a lot different because, along with the sort of teams that you have to play in, the top 4 seeds have to pick what teams they're facing off against. So, what teams are these 4 teams in the championship bracket facing off against?
So before that, I said this on Bronze Spencer, but now I know Yeti's in chat, so I have to say it. Please, can we do like a pick show? That'd be so fun.
I'm really I'm hoping. I'd have to talk about it with Yeti and
it's very risky because of like
Atmosphere,
we've
Yeti.
had issues in the past, but oh, please, it'd be so fun.
Definitely.
So you kind of got to put yourself in the mind of these teams. So I've got Onigiri, Koala Kings, Polychamp, Clairvoyance. They get to pick between Insidious, Doodles, Flashbacks, Geometric. I think the easy, like, obvious first choice is Insidious. I think they're the weakest of those 4 teams, so I have Onigiri picking Insidious. For Koala Kings, I think that they know they can beat Doodles. They've beaten them in the past, and I think that Doodles are the scariest finals team. You don't want to see them on the other side of the bracket in the finals. You want to get them out of the way early. So I have Koala Kings picking Doodles here. Similar things for PosChamp versus Flashbacks for my third match. I think that PosChamp, they've beaten Flashbacks before. They know they can do it twice. So they're looking for a third win over the Flashbacks here. And then Geometric, I think, just like by virtue of them having improved a whole ton in theory for my bracket, I think that they kind of remain as like the final seed.
All right. Now let's go into that championship bracket, starting off with Onigiri versus Insidious.
I think this will be a swift 4-0 for Onigiri here over Insidious. Then the next match, I have Geometric taking a 4-2 win over Clairvoyance. The third match, I have Koala Kings winning 4-1 over Doodles. Then for the final match, I have Flashbacks getting the upset victory over PosChamp 4-3. Then for Onigiri versus Geometric, I have Onigiri taking it in 7. And then the Koala Kings meeting them in the finals with a 4-2 win over the Flashbacks. And then for the finals, I've been on the KK Hopium all season. And here it is, 4-2 win over Onigiri for the finals.
There you go. The first champion has been predicted. Nerf predicts the Koala Kings to win the championship in the Harmony tier. But is that going to reign supreme for the rest of our brackets? Let's find out. Fish, it's time to go over to you. Let's start with your pool picks. What team is facing off against what?
Okay, so this was hard, I think, for me, at least for Harmony. I think this is the one that I struggled the most here. But I have Onigiri picking Clairvoyance. Even though FBRD looks like the one on paper, I think you want to avoid Doodles and Flashbacks. And FBRD at this point, if they would have made it to this pour, they would have won like 6 games in a row. So I don't know, I go Clairvoyance. However, I do think Koala Kings picks FBRD because I think the other two are clearly the scarier of the two. I think PosChamp, I have them picking Doodles instead of Flashbacks because in my bracket, it was a map 5, and I'm like assuming it's like really close, and you don't really want to test your luck again. So I think you go Doodles for PosChamp, and then Strix end up with Flashbacks.
All right, let's head over to your championship bracket now, starting off with Onigiri versus Clairvoyance.
Going with a 4-1 for Onigiri. And then for Strix Flashbacks, I'm going to say 4-2 for Flashbacks. And then I think Koala 4-0's FBRD. And playoff Doodles. I'm going to say a 4-2 for Doodles.
Okay, semifinals.
No.
Someone's got to do it. Look, we got to be on both sides. Bowsy can pick them to lose, and I'll pick them to go really far. We will get both sides of the coin.
Onigiri versus Flashbacks, please.
I'll say Onigiri 4-2. In a close match, I think Flashbacks will be happy with that placement. And in a map 7 banger, Koala Kings survive. They live. I think the world size is a breath of relief. And then in the grand finals, the Koala Kings win 4-2, being not only the first organization to repeat in Trank, but the first team to repeat in Trank as well.
Bowsy's mic died or something? Yeah, it died.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that. My mic disconnected in the middle of that. I don't know if it was something awkward, but just the USB came loose. That happens sometimes. Don't worry about it. But there you go. The second champion picked is the Koala Kings by Fish. We're 2 for 2 so far. Choice 1. It's time to go over to you and your championship bracket. Once again, we start with the seedings.
All right, so Onigiri are gonna pick Jersey Boys. I think it's pretty clear that in my bracket they would just be the weakest team. And me personally, I think everyone's gonna hard avoid Flashbacks no matter what. I think they're by far the scariest team coming out of lowers. And in this universe, okay, Koala Kings are just gonna pick Geo because they want their revenge. Actually, I think they got revenge in uppers. No, I think so. Whatever.
Yeah.
They didn't play him in uppers.
But then they would.
Yeah, they did. They did. Sorry.
But
Yeah,
then they would
so-
know they could beat him again.
But yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
they don't even know they would beat him. So
Mhm.
4-0, they're picking them. And then Polishimp are gonna pick Doodles because again, in my universe is the same as Fish's, where the flashbacks like it's a close map 5, so I don't think Polishimp want to test their luck again, so they pick Doodles, and then Clairvoyants get flashbacks.
All right, and let's go to the championship bracket. Onigiri versus the Jersey Boys.
Yeah, quick 4-0 for Onigiri, I think. Then we got 4-1 flashbacks. And then I have 4-0 KK.
Okay.
And then I got a 4-2 for Polishimp over Doodles.
The good ending.
The good,
good
ending.
ending.
The good ending. Very good ending. I like this.
Yeah, then I have a 4-2 for Onigiri. And then I have a 4-2 for Koala.
All right.
Because again, in this universe, they already beat Polishimp, so... And then, I hate to say it, but I had Koala Kings 4-3 over Onigiri in a banger finals. So yeah, they would get the both team and org back to back.
Yeah, there you go. Koala Kings currently on track 3 for 3.
3 for 3, Bowsy.
3 for 3
Yep.
to become the first Oregon Tranquility to win 3 championships. Can they make it 4 for 4 though? Let's find out as we head over to my bracket. So my bracket has changed a lot since I've changed it a lot in improv because I'm very good at improv, very good at this. So let's go over what I think my picks are going to be. So Onigiri has the choice between Disclosant, Clairvoyance, Jersey Boys, or no, Disclosant, Jersey Boys, Geometric, and Flashbacks. That is a very scary group. I am not going to lie. But I think if Onigiri wants to do anything, it's going to be wanting to prove themselves against an opponent that's really strong. So I'm going to say that they face it off against Geometric. Pause Champ, I think, are going to pick up... I think Pause Champ are actually going to face off against Disclosant. Because I think that they are just going to be a pretty interesting foe to face off against. Koala Kings are going to be facing off against the Jersey Boys, because why wouldn't you? And the Strix, I think, are going to be left with the flashbacks. I mean, when you're Koala Kings, when your decision is the flashbacks versus Jersey Boys, you're going to want the Jersey Boys. Let's be real. And yes, it would be a KK versus JB rematch, so that's part of the reason why I've decided to choose the Jersey Boys to face off against the Koala Kings. But let's go over to the championship bracket now, where things are going to get pretty interesting. Onigiri, I think, are going to take that win over Geometric 4-2. Strix, I think, are actually going to take a massive upset and win against Flashbacks 4-3. Pause Champ, I think, are going to sweep Disclosant. Disclosant might actually take a map off of them. And then I think it's going to be a sweep for the Koala Kings. They're going to beat Jersey Boys. Onigiri versus Strix, I think it's going to be a 4-1 for Onigiri. And then Pause Champ versus the Koala Kings. I'm going to say it is the Koala Kings winning 4-2 to move on to the finals, where it's Onigiri versus the Koala Kings. And as much as I would like to stick with the narrative, I hate to say it, I think I am riding the John O'Copium, the John O'Hopium, whatever the heck you want to call it. Onigiri win the championship 4-1 over the Koala Kings to become your Harmony Tier champions. So there you go. There is all of the Harmony Tier brackets completed here. As a reminder of everybody's brackets, Nerf says it's going to be the Koala Kings winning the championship. Fish, I need to get that one sorted here, but Fish also says it's going to be the Koala Kings. Choi Soo Won also says it is going to be the Koala Kings. And myself, I am the only one advocating for Onigiri to win the championship over the Koala Kings. But there are all of your Harmony Tier brackets. Before we head over to Discord Tier, Nerfed, I understand that you have a very special announcement to make.
I do. So in lieu of the predicting Tranquility, I thought that the consistent viewers would still like to know who the top 5 are, since the predicting Tranquility competition has officially ended. So starting with the week 9 top 5, didn't really make a whole ton of an impact on the overall standings, but you know, it's nice to have. So 5th place was a tie between Milan and Bubba Wyatt for 50 points. 3rd place was another tie, myself and Wooly with 54. 2nd place was Lexi with 55. And by far and away, the winner of this week was Choi with 61 points.
Mm-hmm.
Yup. So then on to the overall final top 5 of this season. Let me get this straight. Yep. In 5th place, we have Tyler with 381 points. 4th place is Cam with 392. 3rd place is myself with 414. 2nd place is Wooly with 421. And then, because of course it is, 1st place is Capital with 439 points.
I'd like to apologize to the person who called Tranquility Nation. I'll let you guys down. I was first for like the whole season, and then I choked. So, unfortunate.
Just didn't fill it out.
Just didn't
Unfortunate.
fill it out. You had to fill it out, my guy. You couldn't do just something simple like that, like filling out the form that Nerf posted every week. But there you go. There's your Predicting Tranquility standings, courtesy of your host of Predicting Tranquility, Nerf. So congratulations to the winners there. We're going to move on to Discord tier. However, before we move on to Discord tier, there's a very interesting...
Mr. Yeti, what the fuck? You can't say
What
that.
Yeti saying,
You can't-
It's true. It's
Dude,
true.
fumbled the bag harder than MI7 up 3-1.
Yo, we're not the goal. You can't make Golden State Warriors jokes on us, please. This is
No,
messed
he
up.
can't. He can't make Golden State Warriors jokes. He can make Boston Bruins jokes. But regardless
That's
of
true.
that,
Oh.
regardless of that, we have an interesting situation in Discord tier. For those unaware, there is currently a match going on right now between Wildfire and Concordia Wildwind that is determining the last playoff spot in the Discord tier. That match is currently 1-1, tied between those two teams.
Yes.
So Nerf is obviously happy about that. But the interesting thing here is that those seeds are that match basically has not determined. Now, let's see. I'm pretty sure now it's 2 seeds that are not determined. Am I
Well,
correct?
now there's only 1 seed that's left open.
Well, yeah. There's 2 seeds that are not determined here. So, pretty much, because there's 1 seed that is still up in the air. So, and that is So there's 1 team still up in the air. They don't know what seeding they're going to get, and the other one is the winner of this match. So here's where things get a little bit interesting, because we are going to play a little game known as Take a Guess. This is probably the worst random prediction that you can ever make in the bracketology history. So there are 2 seeds left for grabs in the Discord tier. There's the 23rd seed and the 24th seed. Poseidon is guaranteed one of these spots, but Wildfire and Concordia Wildwind are fighting for that spot. Nerfed. What seeds are Poseidon and the winner of the match getting?
Mike die again?
No.
Did it?
Oh, everything, all my audio just cut out. I think you're good.
You hear us
okay.
good?
I can hear you. Yep.
Cool. Okay, but if you didn't hear me, what seeds are Poseidon and the winner of that match getting?
I believe that Poseidon will be getting the 23rd seed. And then I'm going to call it now. It's a little bit early, but I think that Wildfire will be getting the win for the 24th seed.
There you go. The Wildfire currently getting that 24th seed. Before we jump into Discord here, I want to get everybody's predictions on this before this match officially wraps up. Because, you know what? I like chaos in my world, and that's what we're going to be getting here. So, Fish, we're going to be moving over to you now. Let me just get over to Fish's setup here. Fish, what seeds are 23 and 24? Or what teams are in seeds 23 and 24?
If Wildwind 3-1, what happens?
If Wildwind 3-1...
Poseidon get the 23.
I believe Poseidon... Let's see. Let me check the standings for that. This is what happens.
Because wouldn't Poseidon just get the top 3 anyway then? Wouldn't they just get 23 anyway?
Concordia
How
Wildwind are
did-
currently -2, so Poseidon would... It would be a +2 map differential, so Poseidon would get the number 23 seed.
Okay, then I'm saying Poseidon 23 and Wildwind 24.
All right.
Yeah, I'm saying the same thing already, so.
All right. Well, that makes my job a lot easier. So that is Fish saying that it's going to be Poseidon and Concordia Wildwind in the playoffs. And for Choi Soo-won, as I head over to Choi Soo-won's setup here in a second. Sorry, this is taking me so long. I was totally unprepared
Wait.
for all this. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna change mine. Concordia Wildwind, they're gonna get the dub over Wildfire. Surely.
Now I gotta
Filmmakers
set
changed
that.
my mind.
Well, now I got to set that all. Now I got to change that all. Give me a second here. You really think Concordia Wildwind?
Yeah, sure. I mean, apparently they just full cap Tavana. I don't know.
Okay, that's great. To
It'll make a
know.
big impact over my overall bracket, surely.
Yeah, that will.
Surely.
That will. I mean, yeah. Some of us it might, but you never know. Choice Suwon, you also said it's going to be Concordia Wildwind taking that spot.
Yeah.
All right, let me.
So how does Poseidon even get to 24?
Uh,
How is that even possible?
Only God knows.
They're the last team. They'll be 2 and 1.
So does Wildwind have to win 3-1 or something?
Wildwind has to win. Period.
Oh,
The
okay.
winner of this match is the last 2 and 1 team. So.
Oh, I'm saying,
Yeah.
well, how does Poseidon not get the 23rd seed and they get the 24th instead?
They get the 24th if Wildfire get +2 map differential, or they get +2 map differential, or if Concordia Wildwind get +3 map, I believe, or
Okay.
or sweep, one of the two.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, yeah, we
There's-
got it. All right,
it's a weird situation. It's a mess, but don't worry, we are here to.
yeah,
cover all of
that's
it.
probably what's gonna happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, in that case, I unfortunately have totally not set this up properly because I originally had Wildfire sweeping Concordia Wildwind. So my bracket's already ruined before it even began. So in that case, oh God, what team do I go for here? Well, I'm gonna give Poseidon the 23rd seed because I think no matter what, they're gonna get the 23rd seed. 24th seed. Oh God, I hate this. I really hate this. I trust in Wildfire to get the last 2 maps. That is the wrong team. I typed in Windfire. I'm very tired. But I think Wildfire still have it in them to get that 24th seed. So I'm the only person who says that Wildfire are going to get the 24th seed. Subject may change as we go into the Discord tier bracket. Speaking of which, Nerfed, I think after all that weird seeding, it's time to finally go into the upper bracket for the Discord tier. Starting off with MI7 versus Avalon.
all right. I was talking to Clem when I was making this bracket, and it'll show. Oops. So I have MI7 going to 5 with Avalon. There's the first little place that it'll show. Then for Trig versus Paradise Lost, I have Paradise Lost winning here 3-1. Catboys versus Castaways, I think Castaways will win again 3-1. And then Beat Drop Bears versus Reminiscence, I think 3-1 for the Beat Drop Bears. For MI7 versus Paradise Lost, I think the MI7 are going to get another 3-1. Actually, wasn't it map 5 last time?
It was.
Yes.
I have.
Yes.
It was.
Okay.
Guys, I'm
Well-
right here.
I keep forgetting I have the MI7 there.
Hi, Fish.
It has been a long night. It's been an hour. It's been 30 minutes. You know what? I'm tired. But Nerf.
Either way, I think MI7 are going to get this win 3-1. And then for Castaways versus the Beat Drop Bears, I against my better judgment, went for the Castaways here, getting a map 5 revenge against the Beat Drop Bears.
All right, there you go. There's the upper bracket for Nerfed as I head over to try and get Fish's bracket all sorted for Discord tier. Surprise, surprise, it's already done. Fish, let's head over to your upper bracket for Discord tier.
Okay. I'm gonna say MI7 win 3-1 versus Avalon. I think I'm gonna say Paradise Lost win 3-1 over Trig. I'm gonna say Cosmic Castaways win 3-1 over Wild Catboys. And I'm going to say Beat Drop Bears 3-0 for Reminiscence.
All right, match 17 for championship bracket seeding.
I'm going to go 3-1 MI7 and 3-1 Beat Drop Bears.
All right, simple enough. Pretty simple, pretty quick. Let's head over now to Choi Soo-won's Discord tier bracket. Choi, let's start in the upper
Alright.
bracket.
I got a 3-0 MI7 over Avalon. And I got a 3-2 for Paradise Lost over Trig. Then I have a 3-2 for CC over Wild Catboys. And I have a 3-1 for Beat Drop over Rem.
All right, championship bracket seeding matches.
Then I got MI7 3-1 over Paradise. And I have Beat Drop 3-1 over CC.
All right, there you go. There are your seedings for that. Let's move over now to my bracket, which we're not going to talk about my lower bracket right now because that's already destroyed. But we're going to go in and do at least my upper bracket. So let's go into that now. I have a 3-0 win for MI7 to start off. I'm honestly surprised. I thought this would be the hot take of the series, but everybody else went Paradise Lost, so I'm going to say 3-2 for Paradise Lost as well. 3-2 win for Cosmic Castaways, and a sweep for Beat Drop Bears over Reminiscence. I think MI7 are then going to sweep Paradise Lost. I think they're going to get over that loss earlier in the season. And then a 3-1 win for the Beat Drop Bears over the Cosmic Castaways. All right, that had to be the quickest bracket of all time. There was not a lot of explanation there on either front.
Are you talking about our loss against CC?
No, I never said that.
You said get over our loss earlier in the season.
I
Are you
meant
talking about
when
CC
I
or-
mainly meant that, I meant like your map 5,
Okay.
your map 5
Yeah, I was
curse over stage 2.
I
Because
was
you
just
went to map
confused.
5 every time. I'm pretty sure. Actually,
Yeah.
no, you didn't go to map 5 against Beat Drop Bears.
We-
You couldn't have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
you
but
couldn't have. Map differential says exactly that. Anyway, let's head over now to the Discord lower bracket for Nerfed. So Nerfed, give me your Discord tier bracket, lower bracket.
All right, Space Created. I don't care who they play. 3-0. Then for Maelstrom versus Loki, I have Maelstrom getting the. I wouldn't really call it an upset, but Maelstrom getting the win here, 3-1. Space Created, I think we'll be able to easily handle Maelstrom. Get a 3-1 win there. And then Avalon, I had it 3-2, but I'm gonna change it to a 3-1 win for Space Created. Again, going off the Clem Hopium. For Adrenalines versus UV Rays, that's gonna kill me, by the way. I'm gonna lose so many points off of that.
Yep.
Um,
You're lucky I'm not keeping track this year.
3-0 for Adrenaline here. And then Redacted versus Royal Throne, I have 3-1 for Redacted. I have Adrenaline getting the win here over Redacted, 3-1. And then Trig versus Adrenalines, I think this is gonna be a really close one. But I have Trig winning in 5. So then for Tempest versus Jellyfish, 3-0, Jellyfish suck. And then another 3-0 for Pukin Dogs, 3-0 over Thunder Duckies. Then for Pukin Dogs versus Tempest, I think that Pukin Dogs, while they've been inconsistent, their highs are very high. So I have them winning this one, 3-1 over Tempest. Then Wildcat Boys, I think they're just the stronger team. I think that they'll win here, 3-1 over Pukin Dogs. So then for the final little branch, we have Phoenix versus SEAL Team Spuds. I gave Phoenix the win there, 3-1. And then for Pride versus Poseidon, I have Pride winning 3. Let's actually give Poseidon a map. Sure.
Okay.
Pride versus Phoenix. That's gonna be a 3-1 in favor of Pride. And then the finals against Reminiscence, I have Rem winning in a sweep.
All right, there you go. And with Nerf's bracket, the 4 teams from the lower bracket making the championship are Rem, Wildcat Boys, Trigonometric, and Space Created. So there is your bracket.
Whoa. I have Avalon winning 3-1.
Oh, my
Oh,
bad.
you said Space Created.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
heard-
said
Space
I
what.
did?
Created.
Did I actually say
You
Space
said Space
Created?
Created. You said
My
you were riding
fault.
the Clem Hopium
That's
for a
what.
second there.
That's why I was confused.
Yeah,
because you were
Troy
riding
looked
the-
so confused.
Oh,
That
my
was
You're riding
really
fault.
funny.
I was saying,
Okay,
Clem
this
credit
is
against
why.
Avalon? What?
This is why I
No,
do
no,
that
no, no,
validation
no.
at the end. This is why
Yeah,
I do
thank
that
you for
validation at the
that.
end. So, you're welcome. But regardless of that, with that little hiccup out of the way, you can blame whoever you want. Just make sure it's not
That's
me.
entirely on me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fish, let's head over to you. Let's go over your lower bracket.
All right. Start with 3 Space Created. And these 16 and 17 games are really hard. The Harmony one was really hard too, and I think this one will be very similar. I'm going 3-2 Maelstrom, if that's how you pronounce it, right?
Maelstrom, yeah.
Maelstrom. All right.
Or Maelstrom.
I'll say
Maelstrom.
3-1 Space Created. I actually considered going Maelstrom this game, but I've realized Space Created had a lot better of a season than I honestly can remember in my mind. But despite that, I'm going Avalon 3-0. I've not been very vocal about it, but I am just as big of an Avalon fan as Clem. I'll go 3-0 Adrenaline. I will go 3-1 Redacted. And then a 3-1 for Adrenaline over Redacted. And Nerf's kind of stole my pick. I was going to talk about this, how I think Trig is actually going to struggle here. But Trig is going to get over their map 5 hump. They have not won a map 5. But I think this will be the first time they do. And Adrenaline is going to go out of the season the same way they came in, which is losing at map 5.
All right, Tempest versus Jellyfish.
I'll say 3-1 Tempest. And then a 3-1 Pukin Dogs over Thunder Duckies are going to avenge this stage 1 loss. And then in a Tempest Puka Dogs, I think a close game, I'll go 3-1 Puka Dogs. And this is where I get silly. I'm going 3-2 Puka Dogs. I'm sorry, Wild Cowboys players. I feel like I've been a hater, but every team needs a hater, and I'm yours, so unlucky.
Yeah.
I'm going 3-0 Phoenix over Spuds. And 3-0 Pride over Poseidon.
Pride versus Phoenix.
Say 3-1 Pride and a 3-1 Reminiscence.
All right, there you go. And with that, Fish's Championship 4 qualifiers are Reminiscence, Pukin Dogs, Trigonometric, and Avalon. Choi, let's move over to your lower bracket, starting off with Space Created versus Concordia Wildwind.
Alright, I got a quick 3-0 for Space Created. And then I have a 3-2 Maelstrom over Rag Loki. And then I'll go 3-2 Space Created over Maelstrom. And then I have Avalon 3-1 over Space Created. Then I got a 3-0 Adrenalines over, what's it called, UV Rays.
Yes, UV Rays.
And then I have a 3-1 Redacted over Royal Throne. Then I have a 3-1 Adrenaline over Redacted. And then I'm the brave soul that says Adrenaline 3-2 Trig.
Ooh. Alright, we got a spicy take. Tempest
Yeah.
versus Jellyfish.
Alright, I got 3-1 Tempest. And then I have 3-1 Pukin Dogs over Thunder Duckies. And I have 3-1 Pukin Dogs over Tempest. And then I have 3-0 Wildcat Boys over Pukin Dogs. Then I got Phoenix 3-0 over Spuds. I have 3-0 Pride over Poseidon. Then I have 3-2 Pride over Phoenix. And I have a 3-0 Rem over Pride.
All right, Rem, Wildcat Boys, Adrenaline, and Avalon making it to the championship bracket for Choi's prediction. All right, let's head over to the correct one, which is my bracket. Oh, that's weird. I didn't think that would be cropped off. Okay. I'm also getting pinged about a result here. Okay. Sorry, I had to get a message covered there, but let's go over to mine. So my bracket is a little bit destroyed, but not too destroyed to the point where I have to redo everything. So I'm going to say it's going to be a 3-1 win for Space Created. Even if Wildfire don't get the spot, I think it's still going to be 3-1. Maelstrom versus Ragnarok Loki. I am going to do a 3-0 win for Maelstrom. Adrenaline, and then Space Created versus Maelstrom. Map 5 win for Maelstrom. And y'all are riding that Avalon hype train a little bit too much. 3-2 win for the Spicy Water. Maelstrom going to championship bracket.
Whoa.
Bro, it was crazy.
I am crazy. That's why I'm the host of the Iris podcast. Let's go over to the next one. Let's go over to the next branch. Adrenaline getting the sweep over UV Rays, and Redacted getting a Map 5 victory over Royal Throne. Then Adrenaline getting a 3-1 win over Redacted, and then Trigonometric is sweeping Adrenaline and going over the championship bracket. Let's move over now to Tempest versus Jellyfish. Okay, just had to check to make sure that was right. But Tempest versus Jellyfish, I have Tempest winning that in a sweep. And then Pukin Dogs versus Thunder Duckies is going to be a Map 5 for Pukin Dogs. Tempest versus Pukin Dogs, I have a Map 5 victory for Pukin Dogs, and then the Wildcat Boys will take a Map 5 victory over the Pukin Dogs. I mean, Pukin Dogs at their high has been very good, but I think at their highest, I think the Wildcat Boys are still going to be coming out on top. Finally, Phoenix versus SEAL Team Spuds, I have 3-1 for Phoenix. Pride versus what in this case is Poseidon. This one I'm going to be changing up for my original prediction. I'm going to say 3-2 for Pride. I think Poseidon always is a team that you can never count out when it comes to playoffs. They are always on playoff threat, but I think Pride is just going to be a little bit better in that situation. Following that is a sweep for Pride, and then another silly Reminiscence are getting knocked out by Pride, and Pride is going to the championship bracket.
Damn!
Babe.
That's a take.
That is two hot takes. One spicy water, and the other is spicy hot. So pretty big
Defending
takes on my end.
champions.
Yeah, the defending champions getting knocked out before they even hit the championship bracket. When I say I have a lot of silly picks, I mean business. So We'll see. I'm probably gonna be wrong, but you know what? Eh, this is for
Well,
fun.
Rem is tilting at you. In
Yeah,
chat.
they're
pissed.
fuming.
I'm
They're
mad.
pissed.
Cool. I get some more interactions. So I'll enjoy that. I'll enjoy that down the line.
Swifters is gonna race you on Twitter.
Don't care, honestly. Anyway, let's move now over to the championship bracket. Starting off with Nerfed, you have to pick your teams. Which one's facing which?
Okay. So I said that you got to put yourself in the mind of a team, right? And I have a primary source here. So, Fish, you're the manager. MI7 get the first pick. Trigonometric, Wildcat Boys, Avalon, Reminiscence. Who you taking?
I don't know if it's allowed.
Avalon.
Sure it is. Sure it's allowed. You're taking Avalon first? All right.
Yeah, in that scenario, probably.
Okay. All right. So then MI7 will take Avalon, I guess. Let's do. I gotta change up a little bit. Castaways will get Trig. Wildcat Boys fall to Beat Drop Bears, and then Paradise Lost gets stuck with Reminiscence. Okay. So for MI7 versus Avalon, let's give it to a 4-2 in favor of MI7. Reminiscence 4-2, Paradise Lost. Cosmic Castaways, I think we'll get a 4-1 win over Trigonometric. And then Beat Drop Bears, I think 4-2 win over the Wildcat Boys. So then MI7 versus Rem, not in the finals, surprisingly. Unfortunately, in the semis. I gave this one 4-2 in favor of MI7. And then for Beat Drop Bears versus the Cosmic Castaways, I gave Beat Drop Bears the win there 4-3. And then so we have MI7 versus the Beat Drop Bears for the finals. And I've been enough of a marsupial hater in my day. This is the season. I think that I'm gonna give this win here to the Beat Drop Bears 4-2.
All right, there you go. The first Discord tier champion has been predicted. Nerf predicts the Beat Drop Bears to get the title in the championship bracket for Discord tier. Fish, it's time to move it over to you. Starting off with which teams are facing off against which in the championship bracket.
This is a little funny scenario, but I think in this scenario, I would pick Pukin Dogs because as much as I mean, in this make believe we would have beaten Avalon or whatever, but I just think you never know. So I'll probably go Pukin Dogs. I don't think Beat Drop Bears is scared of Rem at all, and I also think they'll ego pick Rem, so I'm gonna say Rem. And then I think Paradise Lost at this point would have now have beaten Trig twice, and for them not being like super involved in Trank, I think they're just gonna pick Trig again. And in a weird way, Avalon is the last pick in play CC.
All right, let's go to the championship bracket. MI7 versus Pukin Dogs.
I'm gonna go 4-0 MI7. I'm gonna say 4-2 CC in a really good game. I'm gonna say 4-1 Beat Drop Bears. And in a revenge game, you can't beat a good team 3 times. 4-3 Trig.
All right. Your revenge match, MI7 versus Cosmic Castaways.
I'm gonna go 4-1 MI7. The map pool no longer has only Ball and Sigma maps. And then I'm gonna say 4-2 Beat Drop Bears. In a close game. And then in finals 4-2 MI7.
There it is. Fish predicting MI7 to be your Discord tier champions. I assume that there was no bias in that pick.
No
whatsoever.
bias at all.
It's okay. Navino has done very similar things when he was on Bracketology, so don't worry too much about it. But regardless of that, let's go over to the next pool, which is Choi Suwon's. Choi, let's start off. What teams are facing off against which in the championship bracket?
Yeah, so in my universe, I think MI7 will pick Adrenalines. Don't think there's anyone else they would pick. Then we have Beat Drop picking Wildcat Boys, because they're just very comfortable against that team. Then we have Paradise picking Avalon, because they don't want to pick Rem because Rem just beat Avalon. Would only make sense. And then Cosmic are stuck with Rem.
All right, let's go to that championship bracket then.
Yeah, I think MI7 smack Adrenaline 4-0. Then Rem 4-2 over CC. This is Scrimbucks. Then I have Beat Drop over Wildcat Boys 4-0. Kind of smack them too. Then Paradise over Avalon 4-1. And then I got Rem MI7 for the 9,000th time Rem MI7 4-2. And then I got Beat Drop over Paradise 4-1. And in the finals, you know who's smacking? MI7 are smacking Beat Drop 4-0.
We're not letting it. We're not choking this one.
Not choking this one. Hell nah.
Wow. All right. Bold prediction there from Choice 1 for that sweep in the finals. It'd be the first time I think that we saw a sweep in the Discord tier finals since. I don't know if any historians are in the chat. Was there a sweep in season 6 for Discord tier? When was the last sweep in Discord tier finals?
That would have been
I know
Joey versus what?
I don't even remember.
Joey versus Nyala, right?
It would be Joey versus
That could have been a
Nya.
sweep.
I believe that was a sweep. Any
That's kind
historians
of like
in the
the
chat,
atomic bomb versus
try to
Dr.
confirm
Baby.
that, because I know season 7, 8, and 9 were not Discord tier sweeps. So we'll try to get a historian on that as soon as possible. So we'll see what the case is there. But before we get the answer to that, let's go over to the correct bracket. That is mine. Of course I'm lying, because this bracket is already extremely cursed. But you know what? I don't care, because I'm here for the content. And I think MI7 are going to make the risky play and pick the Wildcat Boys to start. Past that, I think the Beat Drop Bears are going to pick Maelstrom, because that seems like the easiest pick. Paradise Lost will pick Pride, because trigonometric, they feel like that they probably... I mean, obviously, they'll be... Will they be? Yes, they will be being tricked, but I still feel like it'll be too close to a match that they won't want to face them again. So that leads me to my championship bracket, which this is a very interesting championship bracket.
Your bracket is crazy, bro.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's about to get worse. It's about to get worse. Watch this. Okay, so MI7 do beat the Cat Boys. Trig get a 7-map victory over Cosmic Castaways. Beat Drop lose to Maelstrom. I'm kidding. And Paradise Lost beat Pride in a map 7. What is this bracket? Yes. But anyway, now we get over to these next matches. I'm going to start with Beat Drop versus Paradise, because this is an old rivalry. I think Beat Drop are going to win in a sweep. Trigonometric versus MI7, however. I'm sorry, Fish. Trig win 4-2. And I'm going all in, because you know why? I think the Beat Drop Bears will win the championship 4-1. So there you go.
The correct bracket.
I will say, to give Bowsy some credit, Trig is I think Trig at their best is just as good as MI7 and Beat Drop Bears, but they're very inconsistent as a team. But when they're all calming, when they're all playing together, they are a really, really good team.
Definitely. So we'll see how well Trig's able to hold that up. But there are your Discord tier brackets. Nerf picks the Beat Drop Bears. Fish picks MI7, to no one's surprise. Choice 1 picks MI7, and I pick the Beat Drop Bears. All in different ways, but we somehow come out with a 2-2 record in terms of who picks every sort of championship. Now, before we head into Transcendence tier, and while I wait for the results of Wildfire versus Wildwind, we do have one video for you. This is a video from the Week 8 highlights montage. Unfortunately, we didn't get one last week, but I did receive a video for the Week 8 highlights montage, so we're going to be showing that now. Thank you to Vila for editing Week's 8 montage video.
They say humans are social animals. They can't live alone. But you can live
Welcome back, everybody. Sorry for the extended delay, but thank you, Vila, for that amazing montage. Sorry about that. But the main reason is you can see down there in the corner, Choice 2-1 is missing. But you know what? We're an hour in, and I kind of want to go to bed. So we're going to head over to the Transcendence tier brackets here because we have quite a lot of stuff to go over in the Transcendence tier because there is quite a lot to go over. We're going to start off once again, as we usually do, in the upper bracket with Nerfed. Start giving me your upper bracket for the Transcendence tier, starting with Throwing Her Bad versus the Devil Dukes.
All right, so for this first little branch, we have Devil Dukes versus Throwing Her Bad. I give this one to Devil Dukes 3-1, although I'm not convinced on that one. Billings Boomers versus the Howlophites. We've seen this before. I think that it's going to be the same result, 3-1 for the Boomers. And then Hammerhead versus Hades. I think that'll be a swift 3-0 for Hammerhead. Then Guangzhou Gangsters versus the Devil Dukes. I think that'll be a quick 3-0 for Gangsters. And Boomers versus Hammerhead. I think this is a really close matchup. But I gave it this time to the Billings Boomers 3-1. Keep in mind, I said this time. Gangsters versus Boomers for the seeding match. I gave that one to the Gangsters 3-1. I don't think it'll be as close as last time, but I could definitely see that one being very close, just like the last time they played each other. All right. For Fleet Angels versus Revital, I gave it to the Fleet Angels 3-0. Wyverns versus Just Better Inc. I think that Wyverns will find their revenge and get the win here 3-1. And then Singularity versus Delta, another one I'm not convinced on, but I gave it to Singularity here 3-1. For Fleet Angels versus Wyverns, I gave it 3-1 in favor of the Fleet Angels. I'm very high on them. 3-0 for Amnesia over Singularity. And then Amnesia will be ending the Fleet Angels run just temporarily with a 3-1 win over the Fleet Angels.
As your mic died.
Yeah.
There we go. I hate my microphone sometimes. Nerfed, just to clarify, was that a 3-0 win for Amnesia over Singularity?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure. But there you go. There is the upper bracket.
Wouldn't be the first time that I misspoke, so.
Well, at least this time I got the team right. I just needed to know the score. But regardless of that, we're going to head over now to Fish is Transcendence tier bracket. Fish, let's go over to you and your upper bracket for Transcendence tier.
All right, I'm going to go 3-1 for Devil Dukes. And then a quick 3-0 for GCG over Devil Dukes so we can get that one out of the way. Then I think Billings Boomers 3-0 Hivemind. I think Hammerhead 3-0 Hades. I think Billings 3-0 Hammerhead. And GCG beat Billings 3-1 for that upper side of the bracket.
All right, your second upper bracket.
I think I'll go Fleet Angels 3-0 over Revital. I'll go Wyverns 3-1 over Just Better Inc. And then in probably my favorite match of the whole tournament, I'm going to say 3-1 Fleet Angels over Wyverns. Could be really close. Wyverns has some new pickups. I like their new roster. I'll go... We'll just go back down. I'll say 3-1 Reckless Delta. I really liked how they've looked recently. And Amnesia 3-1 over Reckless Delta.
All right, and the seeding match, Fleet Angels versus Amnesia.
I'll say 3-1 for Amnesia.
All right, there you go. There is the bracket for Fish, the upper bracket at least. Let's move over now to Choi Soo-won's Transcendence tier bracket. Choi Soo-won back with snacks, ready to feast on the miracle that is the Transcendence tier bracket predictions. Let's start off with Throwing Her Bad versus Devil Dukes.
All right, I'm Throwing Her Bad over Devil Dukes 3-2. And then I got Guangzhou 3-0 Throwing Her Bad. Then I got Billings 3-0ing High Mine. And I got Hammerhead 3-1ing Hades. And I got Billings 3-1ing Hammerhead. And then Guangzhou 3-1 Billings.
All right, moving on to your second part of the upper bracket, Fleet Angels versus Revital.
All right, Fleet Angels 3-0 over Revital. I have Wyverns 3-2 over Just Better. I think Just Better kind of slept on, but then I have a 3-2 Singularity over Delta. And then I have Amnesia 3-2 Singularity, or sorry, 3-0 Singularity. And then Fleet Angels 3-0 Wyverns. Then I have Amnesia 3-1 Fleet Angels.
All right, there you go. A lot of similarities between all of our brackets thus far. It does not seem like there's a lot of differences. So we'll see how that continues as we head into my Transcendence tier bracket, the correct one that is. Remember that now. So let's start off with the Transcendence tier matchup: Devil Dukes versus Throwing Her Bad. And honestly, I am actually siding with Choi here. I'm going to say it's Throwing Her Bad 3-2 over the Devil Dukes, but the Guangzhou Gangsters is destroying the Cats right after. Billings Boomers, I think, are going to sweep Hive Mind Halofites, and Hammerhead are going to sweep Hades. Billings Boomers versus Hammerhead, this is definitely going to be one heck of a match, but I'm actually going to say Hammerhead take the upset victory over the Billings Boomers. They get to take a map off of Guangzhou Gangsters too, but the Guangzhou Gangsters will get that number 1 pick. Moving over to the second half of this bracket. Okay, just had to make sure that looked good on the stream. But the second half of this bracket, I have Fleet Angels sweeping Revital, Wyverns getting a map 5 win over Just Better Incorporated, and Reckless Delta sweeping Singularity. I think Reckless Delta is heavily slept on, and I think could make a big playoff run. Fleet Angels are then sweeping Wyverns, and Amnesia is sweeping Reckless Delta. Actually, no, I'll give a map to Reckless Delta. I like them. And then Fleet Angels, I say, are winning 3-2 over Amnesia for now. So Fleet Angels instead will get the second pick in the Transcendence tier bracket. What was that?
I say you hate nostalgia. You had Rem losing in the lowers, and you have Amnesia losing here.
Hey, it's only for seeding. So anything could happen. Anything could happen. So we'll get into that later. But now we have to go through the lower bracket. Nerfed. Let's start off with you. Transcendence tier lower bracket.
All right, 3-0 Delta over Frost Nova, and then I think the Dukes are going to take it in 5 for that little match. I don't know what to call it.
Bracket. Branch.
Yeah, sure. Just Better Inc. 3-0 over Revital, and I think Hammerhead will get another 3-0 over Just Better Inc. And as for Hades versus Hive Mind Halofites, I know what people think I'm going to say, but no. I wonder if you guys have ever heard of the London Spitfire.
Oh no.
Hive Mind Halofites with a 3-0 sweep over Hades, and then beating Wyverns in 5. And then Throwing Her Bad 3-0 over Nightmare Outlaws, and then 3-1 over Singularity.
All right, so that means your championship bracket teams, or your teams making the championship bracket, are Throwing Her Bad, Hive Mind Halofites, Hammerhead, and Devil Dukes. So there you go. There's Nerf's bracket starting to develop. I am very scared. I wish to be picked up as soon as possible whenever I can. Fish, let's go over to your lower bracket for the Transcendence tier.
Okay. I'm gonna start with a 3-0 for Singularity, and then I'll go 3-1 Devil Dukes. I still believe Copium. I'm gonna. On my sheet, it says 3-1 Just Better Inc., but I have some new intel. I'm going 3-2 Revital.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna go 3-1 Hive Mind. And 3-1 Throwing Her Bad. Oh wait, my bad. I went out of order.
It's okay. I was able to fill those out. But now Hammerhead versus Revital.
I'll say 3-0 Hammerhead. And 3-0 Wyverns. And I'm going to go 3-2 Reckless Delta.
All right, there you go. There are the standings there. That's odd. Gonna need to talk to Or about that one. But there you go. There is that bracket from Fish, meaning that Reckless Delta, Wyverns, Hammerhead, and Devil Dukes make it to the championship bracket from Fish's bracket. Choice 1. Let's move on over to your lower bracket for the Transcendence tier.
All right, so I have 3-0 Reckless Delta over Frost Nova. Then I have 3-1 Throwing Her Bad over Reckless Delta. And then I have 3-1 Revital over Just Better. And I have 3-1 Hammerhead over Revital. Then I have a 3-0 Hades over Hive Mind.
Noticing a trend here.
And then I have 3-0 Wyverns over Hades. And I have 3-0 Devil Dukes over Nightmare Outlaws. And I have 3-1 Devil Dukes over Singularity.
All right, there you go. There is the bracket for Choice to One, meaning Throwing Her Bad, Hammerhead, Wyverns, and Devil Dukes make it to the championship bracket in Choice to One's predictions. Let's go over to the final bracket, which is, of course, the correct one. I don't know why I keep saying that, because my bracket is far from anywhere that's reasonable in Tranquility history, but you know what? Content. So let's start off with the lower bracket here. I have Singularity beating Frost Nova in a sweep. And then I have Throwing Her Bad taking down Singularity in a map 5 and going over to the championship bracket. I'm scared by all of you saying Revital is going to win. So, I'm very scared. I don't like this surprise intel that you guys have gotten. And it scares me a little bit. So, I'm joining the train. 3-2 Revital, but then the Billings Boomers are sweeping Revital.
Yeah, I'm actually joining Revital, so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hive Mind versus Hades. I think Hive Mind are winning 3-1. And I don't know why there's a 1 there. That must have been an error from the sheet. But I have Hive Mind actually making it 3-2 over Wyverns to make it to the playoff, to the championship bracket. And then I have Devil Duke sweeping Nightmare Outlaws. But, remember how high I was on the Devil Dukes last season? Yeah, that's ending. 3-2 Reckless Delta defeating the Devil Dukes and knocking them out of the playoffs. So I have Throwing Her Bad, Billings Boomers, Hive Mind Halifights, and Reckless Delta making the championship bracket. Devil Dukes will not make the championship bracket this season. Roast me on Twitter, everybody. Anyway, let's go over now to the championship bracket picks, starting off with you, Nerfed. Who is facing off against who?
Alright. The 4 teams I have, I think that Throwing Her Bad are, the most, standard. If Hive Mind are here, I think that you kind of have to fear them just a little bit because, Hive Mind have gone to 5 with pretty much everybody, and, say what you will about that, but I think if they're here, that shows that something's going right. So I think that Gangsters will pick Throwing Her Bad. I think Amnesia will pick Devil Dukes. Because of Scrimbucks against Halifights. So, I maybe don't want to go for that. Maybe do. I don't know. Fleet Angels versus Hive Mind Halifights, and then Boomers versus Hammerhead. So, for the first match, we have Gangsters 4-0 over Throwing Her Bad. Boomers 4-3 over Hammerhead. Oh, I said earlier that I would have Hammerhead winning. Nah, it's fine. Amnesia 4-0 over the Devil Dukes. And then I said it, the London Spitfire 4-2 over Fleet Angels here. I say that because
am I missing something?
What are you doing?
These guys have lost their last 3 games. What is happening?
Bro, they're not even screwing anymore.
Listen.
Yeah, they're not
anything
screwing anymore.
Anything to spruce up the script at this point, because it's kind of been repetitive on what teams we're all picking. Honestly, I kind of accept it at this point. That's kind of why I've been going for the weird brackets, because y'all are too basic.
Here's the thing, right?
My silver bracket is gonna be so good. Don't worry.
Sure.
Back in season 1, everybody counted the London Spitfire out. It's oh, they're definitely losing to the Gladiators. The Gladiators are so good. And then, the London Spitfire didn't have a care in the world. They just ran into it, not even trying. They just run comps for fun, and they win. So
that was also when London was had already shown that they were a top team at the beginning of the season.
Yes. I think we've seen signs of life out of the Halifights. No bias. Anyways.
I think Capital is just profit, so.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Profit of Trank.
Exactly.
Can we move on to the next match?
Yeah, Gangsters 4-2 over the Boomers, and then believe it or not, no, I have Amnesia here 4-2 over Halifights.
Thank you.
I gotta make it interesting somehow. I always say that I hate it when it's 1 seed versus 2 seed. Ignore my finals where I have Amnesia actually taking it 4-2 over the Gangsters.
Wow. Okay, there you go. There's the twist. Amnesia is the pick for Nerf to win the Transcendence Tier Championship. All right, Fish. Now it's time for you to top that. Let's start off with your picks for that championship bracket.
Okay. I think GZG pick Reckless Delta. I think Amnesia pick Wyverns probably. I think Fleet Angels pick Devil Dukes, and Billings get Hammerhead.
All right, championship bracket time.
I think GZG 4-0. Cam, you can't say. Oh, never mind. I'll get to it later. 4-1 Billings Boomers. I'll just go straight down. 4-1 Amnesia. And I'm gonna go 4-2 Fleet. Wait, what? Dadmaster? What? You'll pay me. I was gonna say 4-3 Devil Dukes. And making it to the semifinals. I'm gonna go 4-1 GZG over Billings. I think they're locked in. And I'm not crazy. Amnesia 4-2 over Devil Dukes.
All right, and your finals match: Gangsters versus Amnesia.
4-0 Guangzhou Gangsters.
And meanwhile, I just got breaking news: Concordia Wildwind has won the match in the Discord tier against Wildfire in a 3-2, which means they get the 24th seed. So let me just check some of those real quick. I think, did all of you say the 24th seed?
Oh wait, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
We're 1-0, boys. Let's go. Other than
Alright,
Bazio.
I stink.
Bazzi's already losing points.
I bet I'm
it's
I
already
bet too much
over.
on that. I was smoking too much of that Wildfire, but regardless of which, Fish saying the Guangzhou Gangsters win in a, that was a sweep, right, for finals?
Yeah.
All right, it's a sweep.
I think I think you guys mentioning the fact that there has never been a sweep in Trank finals you have now forced GZG to actually care to sweep.
I'm pretty
in
sure
Trank
there
finals.
has been in Transcendence tier. I believe there was.
Oh, okay.
In which year did Alpha win? Season 7 or 8?
He's 7, yeah.
7.
Oh,
They
No,
swept.
but
season
Science set the
8?
map and so.
All right, never mind. Amnesia. All right, they win 4-1 then.
Okay, I'll change your result in a second here when I go back to your tab. There you go. All right, so that is Fish saying 4-1 for Guangzhou Gangsters to take home the championship. Choi, it's time to head over to you. First things first. Who's facing who?
All right, I think Guangzhou are ego picking Devil Dukes. I think it'd be funny. I think Amnesia are ego picking Wyverns. I think it'd be funny. Fleet Angels are picking Throwing Her Bad. Because it's funny. They're in this the same kind of org thing, the same Discord, I think. Billings are picking Get Hammerhead, and then you have Guangzhou putting Devil Dukes on a pack 4-0. Billings 4-1 Hammerhead. Amnesia 4-0 Wyverns again. Fleet Angels 4-1 Throwing Her Bad. Then you got Guangzhou 4-2ing Billings. Then Amnesia 4-1 Fleet Angels. And then I have 4-2 Amnesia winning in Grands.
All right, and that is a second pick for Amnesia. Let's see what the rest of these say as we go over to the correct bracket, which is my bracket. So, my bracket, actually, this is the first time I haven't changed anything. So, yeah, I get to go exactly with what I wrote before. Let's start off with Guangzhou Gangsters. They're going to pick the Billings Boomers as an ego pick. Fleet Angels are going to pick Throwing Her Bad. Amnesia is going to pick the Hive Mind Halifites because Capital wants to face off, because they probably want Capital to lose to his own org, or they want to try to beat Capital in his own org, and that means that Hammerhead are left with Reckless Delta. So, let's go over the matches here. I think the Guangzhou Gangsters are going to beat Billings 4-2 again. I'm going to skip over this Hammerhead Reckless Delta match, and I'm going to go straight to Fleet Angels sweeping Throwing Her Bad, and Amnesia beating Hive Mind Halifites 4-1.
Ooh.
It happens.
So,
That Hammerhead versus Reckless Delta match. This is sort of an interesting match because both of these teams, I think, are heavily underrated. I think both of them are really strong. They've had kind of rough seasons, but you know what? I'm going to take a risk here. I have been a Reckless Org stan in the past, and I'm sticking with my guns. The Reckless Org is getting a win and moving on to the semifinals against Hammerhead 4-3. Unfortunately, they're going to meet the Guangzhou Gangsters and get swept. And meanwhile, Fleet Angels versus Amnesia, they meet once again, and Amnesia are going to sweep the Fleet Angels once again. So they're going to get their revenge for that winner's bracket. That's why I said Fleet Angels would beat Amnesia there. So Amnesia going over to the semis. Or Amnesia going into the finals. Fleet Angels getting eliminated. And now we get to the final match, which is that championship match. Guangzhou Gangsters versus Amnesia. As much as I would love to support Amnesia, I think the Guangzhou Gangsters are due for their second title in Tranquility and getting a win 4-2 in the Transcendence Tier playoffs. But there are all of your brackets for the Transcendence Tier. Nerf says Amnesia is taking over the title. Fish says Guangzhou Gangsters. Choice One says Amnesia. And I myself also say the Guangzhou Gangsters. So a lot of different opinions all across the board in the Transcendence Tier. But that is it. That is every single bracket predicted here by our analyst team. Will we be right? Good question. I don't think
I will.
so. Nerfed, I swear to God, if Nerfed is the most correct out of all of us, it's gonna be a rough next couple of weeks. But that is it for all of us here. Any final words from you guys before I go over our announcements for this week?
DCG win.
Halifax win.
Okay.
It's gonna be a long argument for the next couple of weeks. I'm glad only one of you is returning onto the Iris podcast these next couple of weeks. But regardless of which, there are some cool stuff coming out this week. Of course, Choice One is here, which means Silver Slander is going to be happening this Tuesday, where you also will be doing a bracketology of your own, albeit I believe it'll be different from ours, right? Or else I'm gonna have to initiate copyright.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It'll be sillier. Don't worry.
It'll be sillier. We'll be seeing silly predictions all over the board. Make sure you don't miss Silver Slander after the feature match on Tuesday, which, speaking of feature matches, we have some interesting feature matches of elimination games in this week. For the Harmony tier, Insidious and Ragnarok Freya are facing off in the feature match. In the Transcendence tier, Hades and Hammerhead are facing off in the feature match. And on Thursday, Tempest and Jellyfish are determining who is getting eliminated and who is swimming far in the lower bracket. All of those will be happening on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, respectively, at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Or actually, no, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. We are making the start time 30 minutes earlier to accommodate for the playoffs. But that is it for Bracketology. There's only one more thing to do, and that is to give away a free t-shirt from the Tranquility store at shop.spreadshirt.com/TranquilityGG, exclamation point, store in the chat? Yes, it is store in the chat. It's been a while since I've typed that command in the chat, but if you want to grab merch, you can grab it over there. But we have a giveaway winner. Can I get a drum roll, please? Your winner for a free t-shirt from the Tranquility store is the Hivemind Halifites God himself, Syme. Congratulations, Syme, for winning a free t-shirt from the
That's
Tranquility
not all he's
store.
winning. That's not all he's winning.
He peaked.
Hivemind is already winning.
Yo, Simon, get an MI7 shirt, please. It'd be so
Please,
funny.
a lower jersey, a lower jersey.
Hivemind Halifights already winning before the playoffs even begin, so Nerf prediction already looking pretty strong, but we'll see how it holds up. Most likely, I don't know if I'm going to do reviews like I did last season on these brackets. I may check on them as the time goes on. We'll see what happens. But that is it for us here today. For Nerfed, Choice One, and Fish, my name is Babowski. We thank you all for joining us for the Tranquility Season 10 Bracketology. Until we meet again, we hope you have an amazing night and an amazing first week of the playoffs here in Tranquility Gaming. Have a good night, everyone.
Experience tranquility. Pass into the iris.